In today's video, I'm showing you 5 simple steps how to achieve a good looking skin color. Hello custom collectors and welcome to a new video. Okay, so the first step after applying a rattle can primer is to give Superman a base coat of pale flesh. Now, since this color is really pale, I then go ahead in the second step with Khaki and my airbrush equipped with a 0.3mm nozzle to do some shading in all the crevices where we would naturally have some shadows, for example on the cheekbones or along the hairline. If you don't have an airbrush, you can also do a wash with thinned down Khaki instead. You can do this in the same way I will show you in step 5. This sculpt, by the way, was done by Rogue. A link to their Instagram is in the description. You can see that I'm going in pretty heavy, but you can always tone it down later with your original base coat color. Which is exactly what I'm doing here in step 3. But toning down the shadows has made the skin too pale again, so step 4 is to use Khaki again. Now not to create shadows, but just to give the whole head a sunbath. After sealing the color with a matte varnish, we are already at step 5, which is washes with yellow, red and blue. And I'm dabbing away the excess using a magic eraser. And you just want to repeat these steps until you are satisfied with the degree of tinting. In between the steps, I'm using a hairdryer to quickly dry the paint, and I seal every layer with a coat of varnish. That takes a bit longer, but the paint will be much more forgiving when you need to make some small corrections. Here you can see the difference before and after the washes. And those were 5 easy steps for skin color. Now we're gonna quickly finish the rest. Next, I'm taking red mixed with glaze medium and water to start layering the lips. I'm doing a very transparent layer here, so I'm using much more glaze medium than red. And then you just need to repeat the process until you are satisfied. And if you use too much red and have a too harsh lip color, just directly take a paintbrush, dip it in water and clean it away. For Superman's eyeballs, I'm using Ghost Gray. Since your eyeballs are not really a pale white, I always go for Ghost Gray, or what also works well is Model Air Light Gray and Game Color Bone White. And since we are talking about tiny eyes here, I'm using a 10 times magnifying glass. Then I'm starting to block out the hair by thinning Model Air Black down with water to paint along the hairline. This will later create a gradient between the skin color and the hair so that the difference is not too harsh. And for the rest of the hair, I'm directly going in with the undiluted color. What also comes in handy are toothpicks to erase paint mistakes. But in order for that to work, you do need to apply varnish layers in between your different steps. Otherwise, you would most likely also scratch the previous paint layers. For more realistic eyeballs, I go in with a highly diluted red and just let that flow into the corners of the eyes. Again, dabbing away the excess with a magic eraser. And the same way I'm painting the hair, I'm also painting the eyebrows. I start with a few thinned down layers of black and then adding single hair strands with undiluted color. And while you watch me paint the eyebrows, let me know in the comments how you paint your skin color. Now I'm wrapping up the head in magic dough and quickly airbrush his suit in black. And after that I'm cleaning up the edges. Then I'm wrapping up everything except the logo and paint that in silver. Quickly drying the paint with a hairdryer and then give it a layer of matte varnish. Now, since this tutorial was supposed to show you how to paint skin, I will happily use this as an excuse to not paint human eyes and go for the evil Superman look instead. With a 000 paintbrush and red, I'm painting veins, and then I'm using my airbrush, again still equipped with a 0.3mm nozzle and red to paint the eyes. I get rid of the overspray with a Q-tip soaked in a tiny bit of alcohol. Again, it's important to have a varnish layer underneath, otherwise you would destroy your previous layers when you do that. As a final touch-up, I'm using orange fire to paint the pupil. I'm getting a little Anakin visiting younglings vibe here. Now I'm painting the key for the base and the base itself with gunmetal. Painting some last strands of hair and then I called it good. And these were 5 minutes from a beginner for beginners how I easily paint my white skin tones.